All right, let's get right into it. Trying to figure out a career path these days can feel, well, kind of like you're lost in a maze, right? But what if you had a personal guide, an expert coach who's on call 24/7 right in your pocket? Today, we're going to look at how AI, and specifically Google's Gemini, is trying to be exactly that.
And here's the thing you need to know. This is already happening. People are using AI right now to get a leg up, to spot weaknesses in their skills, and to absolutely nail their interviews. This isn't some far-off future thing. It's the here and now. So the real question is, are you gonna get left behind?
For a long time, career planning followed a pretty simple script. Go to school, get a job, climb the ladder. Simple. But that world, it's pretty much gone. The job market today moves so fast that the old playbook, the dusty resume templates and generic advice columns, they just don't cut it anymore.
And hey, that's not just a hunch, it's a documented fact. Researchers are pointing out that these old school models are failing us. They were built for a totally different era, a different kind of economy. For the workforce we have today, we need something way more personal, way more adaptive, and honestly, a whole lot smarter.
And if you want a number to really hammer this home, check this out. The World Economic Forum predicts that by 2025, half, literally 50% of all employees will need some kind of reskilling. That just shows you the insane speed of change we're dealing with. A skill that's hot today could be irrelevant tomorrow. It means we all have to be learning all the time. So what's the answer? How do we keep up with all this? Well, this is where a tool like Google's Gemini starts to look really interesting. We're going to focus on a specific feature you can customize to act as your own personal career coach. It's called a gem. So what exactly is a gem? Okay, think of it this way. It's like a special version of Gemini that you give one very specific job. So instead of getting those broad, kind of generic answers, you tell it, hey, from now on, you are my expert career coach. And boom, it puts on that hat and gives you super targeted, personalized advice. It's your own little expert on demand.
And you know what? Getting started is actually super easy. All you need is Gemini Advanced. You just open it up, pop over to the Gem Manager, pick Career Guide, and that's it. You're ready to start asking questions. This is not some complicated tech for coders. It's built for anyone who wants to get a better handle on their career.
All right, so you've fired up your new AI coach. Now for the fun part. What can this thing actually do for you? Let's break down the toolkit you get, which covers pretty much every step of the career journey. First up, just figuring out what's out there. Maybe you're fresh out of college, or maybe you're thinking about a total career pivot. Instead of just endlessly scrolling through job sites, the career guide can look at who you are and suggest paths you might never have even thought of. And this is how you kick off that conversation. See how the prompt tells the AI to act as an expert, and you give it your unique skills and interests. This detail is so important. You're not just asking a random question, you're basically ordering up a personalized report on your own future. Okay, let's say you've picked a path you're excited about. The next big question is, what are you missing? Well, the gem can scan your resume, compare it to a job you want, and tell you exactly what skills you need to work on to be a real contender. With a prompt like this, you're pretty much turning the AI into your own personal hiring consultant. You feed it your resume, you tell it the goal, and in seconds, you get back this super actionable list of what you've got versus what they want. Now this might be the real game changer. The gem can run you through a mock interview. It'll ask you real, relevant questions for the job you want. And it doesn't just stop there, it actually gives you feedback on your answers. And it's that simple. Suddenly, you have a realistic interview simulator you can use anytime, day or night. This is where that AI coach idea really comes to life. It gives you a safe space to practice and get better without the pressure of a real hiring manager staring you down. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, I know. But we gotta take a step back and have a little reality check. Because like any new powerful tool, Gemini's career guide has some serious potential. But it also has limits and risks you absolutely need to know about. So, when you look at it from a high level, the trade-offs are pretty clear. On the plus side, you've got this incredible power. It's plugged into the whole Google universe, it can understand more than just text, and it's got real-time info. But on the flip side, you've got some major pitfalls. The AI can just make stuff up, it's not free, and of course, you're handing over some really personal data. And to prove that the power side is real,
Just look at these numbers. In tests, the AI's ability to help with things like resumes scored off the charts in key areas. We're talking about relevance, consistent tone, and optimizing keywords to get past those automated screening systems. So yeah, when it's on, it is on.
But like I said, that power isn't free. To use the Career Guide Gem and all the other advanced stuff, you need a Gemini Advanced subscription. And right now, that's going to run you about $20 a month. So right off the bat, there's a cost to consider.
And here are the other big red flags. That term, hallucination, which is just a fancy way of saying the AI makes things up, is a very real problem. Some studies show it can happen over 40% of the time on complex stuff. Then there's data privacy, which is a huge barrier for most companies. And you have to remember, these models can have biases baked right into them from their training data, which could lead to some really unfair advice.
So, knowing all of this, the incredible upsides and the very serious downsides, how should you actually use a tool like this? Let's wrap up with some straight-up practical advice on how to use AI to get ahead without getting burned.
Okay, here are the 4 golden rules. Number 1, be super, super specific. The more detail you give it, the better your answer will be. 2, talk to it. If you don't like the first answer, tell it why and ask it to try again. 3, remember this is a starting point, not the final word. It's a guide, not a fortune teller. And rule number 4, and this is the most important one, always, always verify. Double check any facts or advice it gives you with a trusted source.
Which really leaves us with this one big question. These tools are getting smarter and more woven into our daily lives, especially our work lives. So as you think about what's next for you, you got to ask yourself, who or what are you going to turn to for help? The answer to that question might just define what work looks like for all of us.